Is there a comic from that era that if they were in their prime in this era that you think would be even bigger than like the Rogans, the Shanes, would Seinfeld at his peak in this kind of podcasting golden age be even bigger than those guys, or do you think these are as big as it gets?
So it'd have to be good question. These are two good questions. I saw who's the guy who fucks everything in music, and he was friends with Chappelle. Bodies of Wonderland.
John Mayer.
Homo.
Just knowing John Mayer's name.
No, I did not.
I'm not gay. I'm not a homo, bro.
But I asked him a question that somebody goes, "What do you see when you play?" And he goes, "I say, damn man, good question." He goes, "I've never gotten a question like that." He goes, "I see shapes," and it was like, "Whoa!" And it was like. And he just stopped again. He was like, "That's a good question." Yeah, two good questions. What was it? Oh, so they'd have to be good at podcasting.
Right.
Yeah. Seinfeld's not a riffer.
No, you would hate.
So it wouldn't be him.
Yeah.
But also, Sebastian's not on a lot of podcasts. He's massively successful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gabe's never on podcasts, massively successful. So maybe necessarily you don't need to. But someone who's good on podcasts, like Shane, Mark, they're both elevated by it.
Big time.
Yeah. Tim, who would be from back then that would be so good now?
Like, would Eddie Murphy be a bigger?
You know what? Geraldo would probably be fucking big. Eddie Murphy, yeah, he'd be doing arenas because him and Dice did them then. They'd sell out multiple ones.
Yeah.
Dane would probably be even bigger.
Dane kind of was.
He was
already
really
that,
humongous.
Like
early he played arenas.
But he already.
Dane Cook a podcast? You think?
He would have back then.
Yeah. We had him on like 10 years ago.
And
I wouldn't say it was great. Yeah, we had him on like.
Once you already got a big head,
the old
sometimes I
office.
bet you guys get this a lot where somebody's like, "What am I doing here?" And they take it out on you instead of actually jumping in and just like make the best of it, man. I don't know. I don't know.
Ari.
It's not good money in America.
No, but you're kind of right in this. And like most, like I would say in the last few years, I kind of fell out of love with like interviews, and I think it was because we started getting such big guests that like it became more of a talk show vibe. Where
I always use you as the example. You're one of the only people who will just come through. I mean, I know you're promoting right now, but you'll also just come through and just talk.
Well, I have a good time with you guys.
Yeah,
but also in fairness, I knew you guys before I really had much going on, or just at the beginning. So it's like I'm not like, yeah, I have fond feelings of you.
Yeah.
So it's like those podcasts I'm always going to keep doing.
I would hope.
know?
Yeah,
views or no views. You guys get views too, but like it doesn't matter. It's still like this is fun, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
But I that makes total sense to me, and I feel the same way. But I do feel like a lot of people view it as like.
Also, you're going on a big press tour. Next. I was in JFK, I think, and they're like, my friend had the lounge with a +1. I was like, okay, we're hanging out there at the Delta Lounge. Somebody comes over like, hey, just so you guys know, Kelsey Grammer's coming in a few minutes to give a little speech. I was like, what? And they go, Kelsey Grammer, because they're celebrating a partnership between Delta and Paramount Plus. And Kelsey, and you could tell, I see him wheeling. He's on one of those stretcher things. He had a broken leg. You know those things you gotta go on one leg.
Yeah. Oh,
and he had that, and you could see him. He's coming in. He's like, "Hi," but you could just see on his face, like, "Why did I agree to this?"
Yeah.
And like Kelsey, it's in your contract.
Yeah, the wire
5
hit.
of their option. We're making a lot of money.
Right.
And it's just 6 housewives that bothered like going over to that part of the Delta Lounge. We were like, no, I'm not going over there. I passed by on the way to the bathroom once. And I was like, do you ever hang out with the people from Frasier? And he's like, good question. I was like, I just felt bad for him. I just felt really bad for him. He doesn't want to be doing this.
Yeah.
I can't believe how many people do stuff they don't want to do.
Yeah.
Once you made it.
Yeah.
Like Kelsey Grammer.
Have you ever done something you like absolutely did not want to do?
No, I learned early on. Diaz told me, he goes, you got to start. So once the podcast exploded, he goes, say no. Unless you're friends with them or they're big, say no. Mm-hmm. You're not driving to Irvine to do some guy's podcast with 200 views. It's not worth your time anymore.
Yeah, right.
So if you want to help out a friend, launch one.
Right.
Or if it's like, a fun
like
one, or something really big.
Yeah. I just think that I like doing podcasts. You know, if you like it, then fine. I think other people view it as work and promo. And it's like, well, yeah, if you go there and you just have like you said, if you went and you don't make the most of it, yeah, it sucks. But
yeah,
you
get in a
and,
mood.
Kick it and have fun.
We used to always talk to people who drove us to radio on the road. Mm-hmm. It's like, who's like a diva? Like I don't want to know who's nice.
Yeah, who's an
And
asshole.
somebody, like boogers on their seat. Like I'm like, that's my car. It's not a company car. What are you doing?
That's disgusting.
Yeah, and the people who just didn't want to do it, they were the bitchiest because like, what? They're just mad they're not selling out, and then they have to do it.
Yeah.
But there's certain radio stations, even on the road, that I'm like, oh, you've already sold out. I'm like, no, but I haven't seen that guy in a while. Like, get me in there anyway.
Really?
Again,
So you'll
I
go
think-
do morning
I think
radio
they
on the road?
Yeah, they helped me out when it was time, and it was a fun one.
Yeah.
I think it's important to remember that, like, if you blew up doing somebody's podcast or whatever, like, and then you get big, I feel like you should return the favor.
Yeah, Shane
Yeah.
coming on to Legion of Skanks right after hosting SNL.
Right. It's like those
Just
guys
going,
help
I
put
love
on.
you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I can say and do whatever I
Yeah.
want here, and that's
I'm
why I
done
like
with
doing
that.
it.
Now I can do it.
Yeah,
I couldn't do it the week before. Too much to lose. But it's already out. Yeah.
Can't stop me now.
You're going to run a who's most justified using the N-word thing. And I'm like, not now, guys. Just not this week.
Wait like 72 hours we can do this. I saw a clip earlier this morning. A dude got in a car accident with the Uber driver. Airbags and everything. Like, it was a bad one. And the Uber driver was like, dude, can you say you were driving? I don't have a valid license. If this happens, I'm fucked." Would you do that for somebody?
Someone I knew, not an Uber driver.
fuck that.
I'm not getting points for fucking what?
You get points for your buddy, though? Points are no joke. I've gone to court 4 times.
you
I
gotta
have
cover the
another- I have
points.
another court appointment in like a week. I'm trying to kick it down the road.
I'll hop in the seat. If you're drunk, for sure, I'll hop in this front seat for you. The punishment is too much for you. That you have to.
Yeah.
But we're gonna talk about the points and the money coming back to me.
Yeah, because then it's like, it's also like, you got to pay for my insurance every month.
Yeah, that's
now.
what I mean.
Like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
not just like a one-time sum. It's like, we're tied together pretty much for life after this. We need to like live together. you gotta pay me back in all sorts of ways at that point. That is, you gotta be good friends with somebody.
Yeah.
But you for a drunk, would you do it for like are we good enough friends? If I was drunk, would you take the fall for me?
Drunk for sure.
Okay.
Me and Bobby Kelly went to Cuba, and this guy was telling us about crime there and stuff like that. And he goes, "There's just not much. It's a totalitarian state." Like this guy Kurt Kaz made a video of some hookers there, and they went to jail for 15 years. He just thought he was making an influencer video. He didn't know. He was like, "What?" It's like
He went to jail for 15 or the hookers?
the hookers. So like, that's not worth it. So this guy
That's tough.
said, the one we were staying with said, I got robbed last week. And he goes, it was my fault. I was drunk. And his wife's like, I know you were drunk. I fucking better tell him that. And it's like, all right. Because I was drunk, but some guy grabbed now the problem is he put his hand like over my throat and his friend came in and did. So now that's stealing with violence. Mm-hmm. He goes, that's 15 to 20 years. And he goes, I want my phone back. But the police were like, can you describe him? He goes, no. I'm not sending someone to jail for 15 years for a phone.
Really?
You know,
That's
just no
honorable.
way. So
Yeah.
if you're going drunk driving, no fuck. But if you're like, I've already got some points, I don't want any more. I'm like, buddy,
Come on,
I don't
now.
know, don't hit somebody. I told you to slow down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're a good friend, man.
How many times have you lied for a friend when they're in some level of cheating? Hey, I was with you yesterday. Goodbye. And you're like, ugh, waiting for the call. And you're like,
That's
we
happened to
hung
you?
out. Yeah.
I feel like that's like a trope. Like you've seen it on shows, but that's real.
Yeah, I had my friend. Was this an ex? It was an ex. Brian Redband. It was an ex. It was an ex. He's like, hey, I got to change my shirt. Take a picture of us at the Santa Monica Pier and post this one in like tomorrow, saying I'm with you. Don't post anything for today. Like he knew he was going to cheat. And he goes, I need to
meditated on
be
that
with
shit.
you tomorrow.